Federal Reserve officials here at the Shadow Market Committee meeting in New York. By the way, listening a lot to what I'm sure Eamon is reporting there about what the fiscal side might do. They've been emphasizing the public health policy response as the most important cure for the virus. St. Louis Fed President Jim Bullard expects a powerful one from official organizations, from businesses, from families and schools, and he thinks the market may be underestimating that response.
Markets seem to be pricing in the very worst outcome here, and I'm not quite sure that's warranted given the kind of response that I'm describing.
Now, Charlie Evans, the Chicago Fed president, also emphasized that public health response. But if you listen to what he says at the end of this next section here, you'll note that he's saying the Fed stands ready and watching perhaps to do more.
But at the moment, we're facing a new risk. Public health safety is paramount. That's really the first, second, and third response. And getting on top of the emerging spread of COVID-19 has to be the highest priority among everything that's taking place today. But of course, the Fed is going to be paying attention to how this is progressing and responding as appropriate.
So the market sure thinks the Fed is paying attention. Take a look at these probabilities now. A 10% chance for a 25 basis point cut at the March meeting and a 90% chance for a 50 basis point cut. So that's where the market is priced. While the Fed perhaps wants the fiscal side to step up, they know the market is still looking at them for additional rate cuts. Kelly?
And Steve, even as you're talking, we have some more from Rosengren, the Boston Fed president here. And here we go. We were talking to Dave Zervos last hour about when the Fed's going to have to start buying bonds in the near future, right? If we almost go to zero in a couple of weeks, and then the next, you have 25 basis points left. If you need to do anything else after that, you're going to have to be buying bonds. Anyway, here comes Eric Rosengren on the wire saying the Fed should consider widening the type of assets they can buy. Japan owns like 30% of Uniqlo. I think they own 70% of Uniqlo at some point. It just feels like we're going down that path.
Well, of course, the Fed has certain legal limitations, I believe, on what it can buy, but there are certain things it can do with additional, what would you say, kind of provisions in the Federal Reserve Act. But I think the Fed is not there yet, Kelly. I think the Fed wants to take this step by step. It gave 50 earlier this week. It feels like last week. And it has additional rate cuts to go before it gets to zero. I think David is probably right, but I wouldn't put a 100% chance that the Fed goes to zero right now, especially because now you have President of the administration, Larry Kudlow, talking about additional responses from the fiscal side.